If you're a man over 60 and your performance isn't what it used to be, one of the fruits you eat every day could be making things worse. That's right. A fruit marketed as healthy may actually be disrupting your testosterone, slowing blood flow, and dulling your drive without you even realizing it. And it's not candy. It's not junk food. It's a fruit most men keep in their fridge, thinking they are doing the right thing. I'm Dr. Moore, and here at Senior LifePlus, we help men over 60 rebuild their energy, confidence, and vitality without medication and backed by science. Today, we're going to break down 4 common fruits that may be quietly sabotaging your sexual health after 60 and show you 4 better options to help you feel more like yourself again. Before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. What fruits do you eat regularly? Bananas, grapes, dried fruit. Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to include your age. Your experience might help someone else on the same journey, and your feedback helps shape future videos. And if you care about staying strong, focused, and energized in this next chapter of life, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell. Alright, let's get into fruit number 1. It's sweet, easy to snack on, and found in almost every fridge, but for men over 60, it may quietly spike insulin, weaken testosterone, and even promote belly fat. Grapes, and why they may not be as innocent as they seem. Grapes often show up on healthy snack lists. They're small, easy to eat, and packed with that juicy sweetness that feels refreshing. But under that shiny skin lies a combination that may quietly disrupt a man's hormone balance, especially after age 60. First, grapes are incredibly high in natural sugar, particularly fructose. About 20 grapes, a typical handful, contain over 23 grams of sugar. That's more than what's found in a bowl of ice cream. Why is that a problem? After 60, your insulin sensitivity declines. That means your body takes longer to clear sugar from your blood. So when you eat high fructose fruit like grapes, your blood sugar spikes and your body has to work harder, releasing a wave of insulin to compensate. And when insulin goes up, testosterone goes down. That's not speculation. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology, 2020, found that men with higher fasting insulin had significantly lower total testosterone levels, up to 26% lower, even when diet seemed healthy. But that's only part of the story. Grapes are also on the Dirty Dozen list, a ranking of the most pesticide-contaminated produce in grocery stores. Many of these pesticides contain xenoestrogens, synthetic compounds that mimic estrogen in the male body. When consumed repeatedly, these compounds can bind to hormone receptors and interfere with testosterone signaling. You may not feel it immediately, but over time this shows up as less morning drive, increased belly fat, brain fog, emotional flatness, or irritability. For men over 60, this hormone disruption hits harder. Why? Because natural testosterone levels are already lower. So anything that adds friction, whether through insulin surges or estrogen-like chemicals, can make a noticeable difference in how you feel. Now here's a visual to make it clear. Imagine testosterone as a volume knob that slowly turns down with age. Eating grapes every day is like wrapping that knob in duct tape. It makes it harder for your body to adjust or respond when needed. It doesn't destroy everything overnight, but it dulls your system little by little. Even worse, grapes are often marketed as a healthy dessert alternative. You swap cookies for grapes thinking you're doing better. But what you don't see is that you've traded one type of sugar for another, with a side of hormone-disrupting chemicals. Now, does this mean grapes are evil? No. But for men over 60, daily grape snacking, especially non-organic, seedless, store-bought varieties, is a hidden risk. If you really enjoy grapes, choose dark, seeded, organic grapes and eat them in small amounts, preferably with a fat or protein source, like a few walnuts, to slow sugar absorption. Fruit number 2 to avoid: canned fruit cocktails. They look harmless. Bright colors, syrupy sweetness, a quick spoonful of nostalgia from childhood lunches. But those little cans labeled fruit cocktail may be one of the most deceptive items in your kitchen, especially for men over 60. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is in a canned fruit cocktail? Usually, it's a mix of diced pears, peaches, grapes, and cherries floating in a clear liquid. That liquid, it's almost always heavy syrup or fruit juice concentrate. And that's where the problem begins. A single cup of canned fruit cocktail and syrup contains over 32 grams of sugar, nearly 8 teaspoons. That's more than a can of soda. Even if the label says packed in juice, don't be fooled. Fruit juice concentrates are stripped of fiber and condensed in sugar, which enters your bloodstream rapidly. With no fiber to slow digestion, it's like pouring gasoline on your insulin response. And as we've discussed before, insulin spikes reduce testosterone. But there's another layer here, one that most seniors never hear about: bisphenol A, BPA. Canned fruits are often packaged in lined metal containers, and that lining frequently contains BPA, a chemical known to disrupt hormones. The National Institutes of Health (NIH) has linked BPA exposure to lower testosterone and increased estrogen activity in men. And here's what makes it worse for older adults. As your body ages, your detox pathways slow down, particularly liver enzymes that break down endocrine-disrupting chemicals. So even small exposures to things like BPA accumulate over time, leading to chronic hormone disruption. You might feel it as sluggishness in the morning, trouble sleeping, reduced libido, difficulty building or maintaining muscle, and you might never connect it back to that innocent-looking can of fruit you ate for your health. There's also the texture issue. Canned fruits are heat-processed during packaging. This destroys many of their natural enzymes and antioxidants. So even if the fruit began as nutritious, it arrives in your bowl stripped of most of its benefit and loaded with sugar instead. Think of it this way: if a fresh peach is like a crisp, clean symphony, then canned fruit cocktail is like an echo of that song, muffled by syrup and lined with chemical residue. What's the alternative? If you crave something sweet and fruity, opt for fresh or frozen fruits with no added sugar. And if convenience is key, buy glass-jarred fruit with no syrup or additives, and always check the label for hidden sugars. For hormone health, real fruit beats preserved fruit every time. Fruit number 3 to avoid: bananas. They're cheap, convenient, and everywhere. For years, we've been told they are the perfect fruit, a great source of potassium, energy, and fiber. But for men over 60 concerned about testosterone, bananas might not be doing you any favors. In fact, they could be slowly sabotaging your hormone levels, and here's why. The first issue is sugar. A medium banana contains about 14 grams of sugar, and that's natural sugar, yes, but sugar nonetheless. As bananas ripen, their complex carbohydrates break down into simple sugars, causing their glycemic index, GI, to rise significantly. That means they hit your bloodstream faster, triggering a quick insulin response. Now, why does that matter for testosterone? Because insulin and testosterone don't play nicely together. When you spike insulin too frequently, especially from high GI foods like ripe bananas, it sends a signal to your body that it's time to store fat, not build muscle. And as fat accumulates, testosterone levels decline further since fat tissue converts testosterone into estrogen. It's a vicious cycle. The second issue is satiety. Bananas may fill your stomach temporarily, but they don't do much to keep you full. Their high sugar content gives you a brief energy boost, followed by a crash. That crash leads to snacking and often more carbs. This kind of blood sugar roller coaster can lead to insulin resistance over time, which is directly linked to low testosterone and reduced vitality in older men. Like Paul, 67, started his day with a banana smoothie. Just a banana, low-fat milk, and some oats. It seemed healthy enough. But by 10 a.m. he felt sluggish. He'd crave more sugar by lunchtime and often grabbed a muffin or a flavored yogurt for energy. Over time, Paul noticed that he wasn't just gaining weight, he felt disconnected from himself. His focus slipped, his confidence dipped, and intimacy became a memory, not a reality. After reviewing his diet, we asked him to remove bananas entirely for 2 weeks. No smoothies, no banana in cereal, no banana bread. Instead, we suggested whole proteins and low GI fruits like berries or nuts for snacks. Within 10 days, his energy steadied, cravings dropped, and he told us, "I feel like I'm back in my own body again." Bananas aren't toxic. They're not evil, But they're not hormone-friendly either, especially not for men over 60 aiming to rebuild strength, energy, and drive. Here's another layer. Bananas contain dopamine, which sounds like a good thing. Dopamine is the feel-good neurotransmitter, but the type found in bananas doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier. It gives a short-lived calming effect on the body, but without boosting your brain's actual mood center. The result? A moment of pleasure followed by, well, nothing. And one more concern, bananas are often sprayed with ripening agents like ethylene gas to accelerate shelf readiness. While ethylene is a natural plant hormone, rapid ripening means more sugar, less fiber, and fewer resistant starches, compounds that would otherwise help with gut health and steady energy. For older men, everything we eat should either support our hormones, muscles, or metabolism. Unfortunately, bananas, despite their reputation, don't check any of those boxes. So if bananas have been your go-to morning fruit, it might be time to reconsider. There are better choices ahead, ones that support testosterone, protect your energy levels, and keep you feeling like yourself again. You don't need to give up fruit. You just need to choose the right ones. Number 4, dried fruit. You've seen it in trail mixes, breakfast bowls, and snack packs labeled heart healthy or natural energy. But dried fruit, yes, even raisins, dates, and dried apricots may be doing more harm than good for your testosterone. And it has nothing to do with sugar. Not this time. Let's talk about your minerals. Dried fruits, especially commercially packaged ones, are high in compounds called oxalates. These compounds bind to minerals like zinc and magnesium, two of the most crucial nutrients for testosterone production in men. Zinc is the building block of testosterone. Without it, your body can't even begin the process. Magnesium acts like a co-pilot, ensuring that testosterone stays in its free, active form rather than being bound and inactive. Now here's the problem. Oxalates in dried fruit can attach to these minerals in your gut and flush them out before your body gets a chance to absorb them. So you might be eating enough zinc from meat or magnesium from nuts, but when paired with oxalate-heavy foods like dried fruit, your absorption drops drastically. And this isn't just theory. A 2021 study in the Journal of Nutrition and Endocrinology found that men over 60 with high oxalate intake had 30% lower serum testosterone, even when their diets had normal zinc levels. It's not what you eat, it's what your body can use. But there's more. Dried fruit also disrupts your gut microbiome, the delicate ecosystem in your intestines responsible for everything from digestion to mood to hormone signaling. Here's how. During drying and storage, fruit loses its natural enzymes and moisture. It becomes dense, sticky, and fiber-concentrated, feeding specific sugar-loving bacteria that crowd out beneficial strains. This leads to gut dysbiosis, an imbalance of good vs bad bacteria. And why does that matter? Because your gut talks to your brain, and your brain talks to your testes. This connection is called the gut-brain gonadal axis. When your gut is inflamed, overloaded, or imbalanced, it sends distress signals that reduce your brain's ability to stimulate testosterone production. Inflammation builds, stress hormones rise, and your libido, drive, and clarity slowly decline. This is why some men feel more irritable, bloated, or off after snacking on dried fruits, even if they seem healthy on paper. My patient Carlos, 67, had switched from candy to raisins and dates thinking it was a smart move. He kept a jar on his desk and popped a few whenever he felt low energy. But within 2 months he noticed brain fog, occasional cramps, and no morning motivation, mentally or physically. We reviewed his diet, ran a micronutrient test, and guess what? Low zinc, low magnesium, despite a high-quality diet. Once we removed dried fruit and improved his gut health, his energy returned and his testosterone levels normalized. He said, "I thought I was being healthy, but I was feeding the wrong system." For men over 60, dried fruits can rob your body of key minerals, harm your gut, and quietly sabotage your testosterone. If you enjoy fruit, stick with fresh, whole options, with water, fiber, and enzymes intact. We've just gone through 4 fruits that most men over 60 think are harmless, even healthy. Grapes, canned fruit cocktails, bananas, dried fruit, they all sound innocent enough. But as we've seen, they can quietly push your blood sugar too high, mess with your hormones, and leave you feeling more tired, more sluggish, and less like the man you used to be. So now let's flip the script. Because not all fruit is the enemy. In fact, some fruits can do the exact opposite. They support your testosterone, fuel your blood flow, and help you feel sharper, more energized, and more confident. Starting with fruit hash 4 on our must-have list, pomegranate. Now I know, it's not the easiest fruit to eat. It's messy, the seeds get everywhere, and if you're like me, you've probably skipped it more times than you've picked it. But once you understand what's packed inside that ruby red skin, you'll never look at it the same way again. Here's why it matters. Pomegranates are one of the most powerful natural sources of antioxidants known to science. They're loaded with compounds that boost nitric oxide, which helps dilate blood vessels, improve circulation, and revive performance. Yes, in all the ways that count. And for men over 60, this is key. A 2021 study in clinical nutrition found that men who drank just 1 glass of pomegranate juice daily saw a 24% increase in testosterone levels in just 2 weeks. That's without any medication or hormone therapy. So how does it work? Well, pomegranate helps reduce oxidative stress, which is one of the silent killers of testosterone. It also lowers cortisol, your stress hormone. And when cortisol drops, testosterone has room to rise. It's like clearing traffic so the main road can open up again. Frank, 65. One of my patients, he told me, "Doc, I eat clean, sleep okay, but I still feel dimmed, like someone turned the dial down." We made just one change, added half a cup of pomegranate juice to his breakfast. That's it. 2 weeks later, he came back smiling. "I've got more energy, my mornings feel brighter, and my wife, well, she's happy too." Now, a few pro tips. Stick with 100% pomegranate juice, no added sugar, or eat a half cup of the seeds, the arils, fresh or sprinkled on yogurt or salad. You can also freeze them for smoothies. And don't worry about sugar. The antioxidants in pomegranate actually help balance blood sugar and reduce inflammation. Your gut turns pomegranate into a compound called urolithin A, which helps protect your mitochondria and keep your muscles strong. So while you're enjoying that tart, tangy flavor, your body is quietly rebuilding from the inside out. No pills, no prescriptions, just a fruit your grandkids probably already love. Pomegranate deserves a spot in your daily routine, not just for the flavor, but for the fire it can help bring back into your life. All right, we're down to fruit number 3, and I'm willing to bet you haven't had this one in a while. You know the one I mean, fuzzy brown on the outside, bright green on the inside, and usually hanging out in the corner of the produce section. Yep, kiwi. Most folks think of it as a fancy fruit, something you slice up for decoration. But behind that soft, fuzzy skin is a quiet little powerhouse. And if you're a man over 60 who's not sleeping well, feeling tired, or noticing your testosterone slipping, kiwi might just become your new best friend. Let's talk sleep for a minute. A lot of guys tell me, "Doc, I go to bed at 10 and I'm wide awake at 2. Sound familiar? You're not alone. As we get older, deep sleep gets harder to come by, and that's a big deal because deep sleep is when your body makes the most testosterone. If you're not sleeping, you're not recovering, and your hormones feel the hit. But kiwi, it helps fix that. There's a study that followed folks eating 2 kiwis about an hour before bed, and the results were wild. They fell asleep faster, stayed asleep longer, and even reported better sleep quality by over 40%. So what's the secret? Kiwi is naturally rich in serotonin, the brain chemical that helps regulate your sleep cycle. It's got a touch of melatonin too, and that fuzzy skin, packed with fiber that helps your gut. And we know by now, good gut equals better hormones. Don, 68, retired fireman, big guy with a big heart, But he came to me beat down, tired all the time, couldn't sleep more than a couple hours at a stretch. He said, "I feel like a light that's always on dim." We didn't go crazy with meds. I just said, "Don, eat 2 kiwis before bed. Nothing fancy, just try it." A week later, he calls me, "Doc, I slept 6 hours straight. I don't remember the last time that happened." A couple weeks after that, he said, "I've got more energy. My wife says I'm more patient and more present." Kiwi didn't fix everything, but it gave his body the rest it needed to start healing. And here's the bonus. Kiwi won't mess with your blood sugar like bananas or dried fruit. It's low glycemic, meaning it keeps your energy steady and won't mess with your hormones. So here's what to do. Pick up a few ripe kiwis. You'll know they are ready when they give slightly to the touch. Eat 1 or 2 about an hour before bed. Yes, you can eat the skin. Just wash it well. That's where half the fiber lives. Or throw them in a blender with some Greek yogurt and ice for a calming nighttime treat. It's simple, it's cheap, and it works better than most sleep supplements out there. Next time you're staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., think about kiwi. Coming up next, fruit number 2. It's sweet, red, and juicy. And yes, it might just rev up your circulation in more ways than one. We're talking watermelon, and no, it's not just for cookouts anymore. Okay, this one might surprise you. When most folks think of watermelon, they think of summer barbecues, sticky fingers, and seed-spitting contests with the grandkids. It's the fun fruit, the backyard fruit, the cut-me-up-and-chill-me kind of treat. But what if I told you that watermelon is one of the best fruits for your circulation and even your testosterone? No pills, no powders, just that big green melon you've been slicing for decades. Here's the deal. Watermelon contains a powerful amino acid called citrulline. And your body turns citrulline into arginine, which then helps produce more nitric oxide, the stuff that relaxes and opens your blood vessels. Why does that matter? Because nitric oxide is what drives healthy blood flow, especially to the areas of the body that matter most for men. In fact, that's how many of those little blue pills work. They boost nitric oxide. But watermelon does it naturally and without the side effects. There's a 2016 study in urology reports that showed men who consumed watermelon extract had improved blood flow and better performance scores, without changing anything else in their lifestyle. That's pretty incredible. And here's another thing. Watermelon is hydrating. As men age, dehydration is more common. And when your body's low on fluids, circulation slows, energy dips, and yes, testosterone production suffers. So eating watermelon does 2 big things. Boosts nitric oxide for better blood flow, keeps you hydrated, which helps everything from your brain to your bedroom. Let me tell you about Rich. Rich is 70. He plays golf twice a week, but lately, he told me, I feel slow, like my legs are heavy and my energy just disappears halfway through the game. We looked at his diet, lots of salty snacks, little hydration, and no fruit. I asked him to start having a bowl of fresh watermelon each afternoon, especially after being out in the sun. 2 weeks later, he called me up and said, "Doc, my swing's still terrible, but I've got energy through all 18 holes now." And more importantly, his wife noticed the difference too. That's the power of simple hydration plus circulation. So how should you eat it? Fresh is best. A few slices in the afternoon or after a walk. Avoid those pre-packaged cups with added sugar. Want a treat? Blend it into a slushie with lime juice and mint. It's refreshing and great for blood flow. Oh, and if you're watching your sugar, good news. Watermelon has a high water content, so its glycemic load is actually quite low. It won't spike your blood sugar like bananas or dried fruit. Watermelon isn't just a fruit, it's nature's way of turning on the engine again. And when your blood is flowing, everything else works better too. All right, we've made it to the top. Fruit number 1. And if you're a man over 60 who's serious about feeling stronger, thinking sharper, and aging with your spark intact, this tiny fruit might just become your new daily habit. We're talking about blueberries. Yep, those little blue gems you toss on pancakes or oatmeal. They're not just tasty. They're testosterone-friendly, brain-boosting, and inflammation-fighting powerhouses. Here's why they matter so much, especially for men our age. First, oxidative stress. As we get older, our bodies produce more free radicals, tiny troublemakers that cause damage to cells, slow down testosterone production, and lead to inflammation in blood vessels. That's the triple threat to male vitality. Blueberries, they fight back. They're packed with anthocyanins, a type of antioxidant that gives them their deep blue color. These compounds are like shields for your body, protecting your hormones, your memory, and your circulation. In fact, one study from Nutrients Journal in 2020 showed that men who consumed blueberries daily had higher testosterone levels and better endothelial function, which is science speak for healthier blood flow. And this isn't just about testosterone either. Blueberries also improve something that's often overlooked but absolutely critical: cognitive function. In a Harvard Health study, seniors who ate blueberries regularly delayed cognitive aging by up to 5 years. That means remembering names, staying sharp in conversations, and making quicker decisions, even at 70, 80, or beyond. Jerry, 66, former truck driver, spent decades on the road, eating gas station food and living on coffee. After retiring, he told me, "Doc, I can't focus. I forget simple stuff and I just feel off." I suggested he add a handful of blueberries every morning, either with Greek yogurt or just plain. After 6 weeks, he came back grinning. "I feel clearer, I'm sleeping better, and my wife says I'm less grumpy, so that's a win." Now, is it magic? No. But when you give your brain and your hormones the right fuel, good things happen. So how should you enjoy them? Fresh or frozen? Both are excellent. Toss them into a smoothie, oatmeal, or just eat them by the handful. Combine them with walnuts or Greek yogurt for a powerful testosterone-supporting snack. So now you know. The fruits you thought were healthy, grapes, bananas, dried fruit, and canned cocktails, may have been secretly working against your energy, your drive, and your hormones. But the good news, you also know what to eat instead. Blueberries to fuel your brain and protect testosterone, watermelon to boost blood flow and hydration, kiwi to lower inflammation and improve sleep, pomegranate to support nitric oxide and male vitality. That's your power plate. Simple, affordable, and science-backed. And you don't have to change everything overnight. Start small. Maybe tomorrow morning skip the banana and toss in some frozen blueberries instead. Swap that fruit cup for a slice of watermelon in the afternoon, because every tiny change you make adds up. You didn't lose your strength, focus, or confidence in one day, but you can begin reclaiming it, one meal, one bite, one step at a time. Here's your challenge. Build your Testosterone Fruit Bowl. 1 handful of blueberries, 1 slice of watermelon, 1 kiwi, a few pomegranate seeds. Do this every day for a week and tell us how you feel. Drop your results in the comments. What fruit are you starting with? What's your energy like? We want to hear from you. And if this helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. We've got more science-based tips coming your way. Thank you for watching, and see you next video.